Hello everybody, welcome to Snow Talk, and actually got some snow to talk about, which is kind of nice, isn't it? On the snow award, obviously, tomorrow we'll focus on that. Otherwise, fairly quiet, some warm air more than anything will be involved in a weather pattern, maybe a rain to snow day on the 14th, but we'll focus on that later. Let's get right to the details. Quiet today, everything's clearing out. Cold day though, even though it's going to be sunny, temperatures will be struggling to get back into 30s for a lot of you today. Our snow system for late tonight, tomorrow really, is here. It's going to be streaking out to the east as we head through the next 24 hours. And of course, the energy for the system over the weekend is now onshore. It's being sampled. We saw some adjustments, as you've seen in a few minutes here, some of the very early morning runs. The midday model runs will be the true test to see if anything will change at all. And it may not, but that potential is there. All right, so let's get right to the situation for tomorrow morning. Some of the models are really quick on bringing this in at 4 a.m. It starts to bring in snow. If it arrives too early, I have a feeling it's going to be more virga. In other words, precipitation on the radar, but it's not reaching the ground. That potential is there if it gets here too early. But the models are trying, at least the RPM here is trying to delay it a little more toward mid to late morning, and that's the trend we're going with for now. And it has a better chance to reach the ground at that point too. We'll have a chance to saturate a bit more. And we will see Indiana take the beginning wave, it looks like, for any slick roads. And then as the day wears on, we'll see it work its way more and more into Kentucky. And then by the time we get into the nighttime hours, still there, it'll take it to about the rush hour Friday morning to move out of here. So it's going to be a kind of a constant wave. The entire zone is going to be east-west in nature, and it'll be drifting from Indiana north of 64, work its way into Kentucky over about, I would say, an 18-hour period. But along that band will be multiple little waves of snowfall with breaks in between. Not a solid band of snow. Here's the snowfall rate potential. And again, this changes as well, but the general theme has stuck with this, with about a snow burst of light snow in the morning hours, but the heaviest in the afternoon rush. That's concerning, considering it's afternoon rush. This is a look at our RPM data. We actually look at the details that are coming in. You see, it's starting with now, but you see the temperature trend here. We drop down later on for tonight into the upper teens in some cases. As we head into, actually this is more Thursday night, I should say, excuse me. But Thursday morning, you can see temperatures in the 20s. It's giving us overall about a 2.7 inch total is what it's showing up as for Louisville. That's that particular model's output that's giving us. But look at the wind chills right in through here. Wind chills showing up into the single digits. Could very well see those end up into closer to the zero range, depending on how much snow we got. So very cold air. But in general, the snow doesn't really start to show up on the accumulation as you see it there in the chart until about the midday period, and that's what we're going with for now. A lot of concern about the dry area, a lot of this up. Well, that potential is there if it gets here too early. The WRAP model on the sound here does show a pocket of dry air at the lower levels. That potential is there for some of it to be eroded away before it reaches the ground. Certainly saturated enough aloft for snow to develop. The NAM model, by the time the sun comes up, is showing fully saturated, so anything moving in would hit the ground. So I don't think the dry air is going to be a huge issue. Maybe initially for a brief period if it gets here early, but otherwise I think overall most of the snowflakes that fall will hit the ground and then will stick. The key on this, on the snow potential as far as amounts, is going to be the track of the jet streak. It'll develop here and track right along 64. This is the NAM model, and the other models seem to agree on this as well. So a little streak will enhance itself right along 64 in the afternoon hours on Thursdays and early evening, and it's got that streak there that will likely lead to the accumulation period, at least a heavier burst of snow that will then likely take shape. As far as snowfall accumulations go, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches, I think, is going to be a good general widespread amount that we will have. And that may very well be more 1 inch. All right, but it's a good chance for everybody to get a coating of snow. That I'm fairly confident in, looking at the data. The question is that jet streak moving in, where is that going to be? Because that could enhance some of the snow potential, and that may very well be very close to 64, just north, depending on where that flow kicks in. And keep in mind, the entire zone at the same time is going to be sinking south. So some questions on where we could see the 2 to 4 inch totals that could come into play. It may be more of a 2 to 3 kind of a deal, but I wouldn't rule out 4 inches. Not with that kind of energy moving through. I've seen it happen many times. And the snow ratios are going to be high. You can get more bang for its buck kind of deal with the moisture in the air. So especially as we into Thursday evening when we really see a temperature drop, we could see some enhanced snow totals out of that. So something to watch. It's not going to be a big storm, guys. This is not a major winter storm, but it is enough, certainly for a winter weather advisory, which will likely be issued later today, and it is enough to cause slick, hazardous driving conditions. And that's why we've highlighted into red for especially the afternoon commute into Thursday night and likely Friday morning. Friday's morning commute could certainly be much more of an issue than tomorrow morning will be, because the snow will likely not have really reached us for a good chunk of the morning commute. Real quick, as we get into Friday night to Saturday, watching that southern wave, I will say the NAM, the latest one, trying to catch on to it, trying to be a little closer to us. Slight little jog north. GFS so far still way to the south, but we'll see what the midday model runs show now that the sampling's taking place. And interesting enough, when you look at the Euro ensembles, it is trying to give a general idea that now this gray areas are snow for Thursday, but the blue would be the snow for Friday into Saturday, and you see it does clip Kentucky and into Virginia and the Carolinas. So at the moment, it's still out of wave country, even on the ensembles, but it is certainly much more to the north than what it was in previous days. We'll see how that trend holds. That's it for now, guys. Stay tuned for more updates on this. Of course, I'll have updates on social media throughout the day as well. You know how I am. Bots.